House of Cards. How are you all? Some of you were asking, what is this live about? And if you watched the video that was straight after, you'd get a little inkling. You get a little inkling. Because the video after was about the wounds of your parents. So right now, we're going through planetary alignments where we are having to revisit our childhood wounds. So in the picture for this live, I had playing cards, house of playing cards falling down. The playing cards demonstrate the house of your family and all the constructs that were built upon lies and trauma and fakeness. Can you all hear me? Because I'm a little bit further away today. I felt the need to be slightly more away in this part. How is everyone doing? If you can hear me, please write in the chat. Someone was calling again. We get disturbed like last week, this time with the doorbell. Hi, are you able to hear me? Does the sound okay? From the far, from the distance? Otherwise, you know me, I just get into a rampage and I will carry on. So, I know someone's written hi, but can you tell me you can hear me? Kushil, can you hear me? Write down in the chat. We can hear you. Perfect, thank you. So like I was saying, House of Cards, what is this about? The trailer was about a house made of playing cards. It's paper, and it was all falling down. And it shows basically your childhood homes. And right now, with the planetary alignments in the last week or so, we saw that a lot of childhood issues are being brought back into the surface. And I want to deal and talk about certain topics so that we can learn a little bit more about family issues, father wound, mother wound, all the traumas, all the toxicity, all the lies. I might not take questions today. I'll see how I feel. So House of Cards relates to your house, which was built upon playing cards, which was built upon paper-thin illusions and delusions, making you think that it's the truth when it's not. And now that's all coming tumbling down, because as a twin flame, as you ascend, you can no longer deal with people's egos. You can no longer deal with people's traumas. You can no longer deal with people's lies, because you are coming out of those bondages. You are freeing yourself from those mechanisms, structures, and distortions where you no longer associate with that. You'll get to a point where you see from afar other people's traumas, other people's ego, other people's lies, and you no longer want to partake. And you are a breaker of chains. You are someone who's going to free ancestral lineages of their karma by healing and purifying it within yourself and then stamping it out of others. So this is childhood traumas, family dramas, healing the bloodline, no longer taking any bullshit, no longer being undermined by your father, by your mother. And you will realize in the last couple of lives I've talked about me having fights, literal fights before coming on the live. You remember I talked about my father. Literally half an hour before the last two lives, I had a screaming match with him in order to break his ego. And you will find at times as a twin flame, the wrath of God will work through you. It's called twin flames for a reason. It's fire. You burn everything to the ground. All ego and distortions must be burnt, brought to ground zero. And sometimes God will work through you. It's not always about sitting like a monk and a nun and being a pretty thing in the corner and being smiling and having no boundaries. Sometimes God will work through you like a dragon, and you will burn everything down. The house of cards will tumble. And you will find yourself being that centered, balanced person, but able to match the energy of the aggressor to bring them down. And then you'll see them shrivel up in the corner like a child with trauma, understanding the healing that's taken place from God. And this will also happen with your twin flame, with your DM. At times you will have the wrath of God within you and you will fire it out of you because you're stamping out their ego. And that's how healing occurs sometimes. So no undermining, no ego, no trauma. putting people to place, blasting them from God like a thunderbolt coming from above. You are now the leader of the bloodline. And the current cosmic energies, the planetary energies that have been going on, it's been intense, and it's bringing up all sorts of trauma and drama that has been kept in your bloodline for centuries, but for millennia, whatever it is. And you're here to purify it. And I also posted last night that the DMs are going through it. And some people are like, what are they going through? Well, they're waking up and having ego deaths, but only if you've done your part. So I'll continue. You are now the higher consciousness in your bloodline. You are the Divine Mother. You are the Divine Father. You are now taking over you're on the mantelpiece, right? You're taking the baton. You're taking the leadership of the family because others were ill-equipped. They were distorted. They were toxic. They were wounded. They were lying. You have healed yourself and your vessel, and now you are the leader. You are seen as the leader. You are looked upon. Now, I'm only saying this if you have done lots of inner work. If you are a lazy divine feminine or a non-twin flame who pretends to be a twin flame because you're chasing a karmic or you're stuck in limerence, none of this is going to apply and it's not going to make sense to you. If you've been someone who's been moaning and blaming and chasing after your divine masculine and not doing any inner work, because I posted a meditation video today and some people are like, I don't even do that. So if you do no inner work and you're not a twin flame, it's not going to apply for you. But if you've been working your ass off and you've been breaking your back and you've been spending that money and you've been gaining your abundance, not like majority of the twin flames that I talk to, the divine feminines who are broke and broken, doesn't make sense. Self-love, self-worth, abundance is there. If you love yourself, the abundance is there. Anyway, those who have done their work, those who have not been lazy, those who have not sat on their ass, and those who have continually invested, you are the leader now. You are in the leadership of your bloodline. You are purging your entire bloodline. In my religion, Sikhism, it talks about mukti or mukt, being mukt, right? So enlightenment, liberation, nirvana, moksha, mukti, that's ascension, right? So when you become mukt from all karma, when you have liberated yourself from all karma, in my religion and in Indian religions in general, you actually free majority of your family. A lot of your family members are freed through your enlightenment. So if you're not working on mukti, you're not working on ascension, then this transmission is not for you right now. So those who are no longer fixated and focused and obsessing it and going crazy over the divine masculine, blaming them, shaming them, and whatever else, those who are only focused on God, those who are only rooted in their divinity, those who are only purging their toxicity and ancestral wounding, you are the leaders of your ancestral line and you are going towards moksha, mukti. Too many divine feminines are focused on divine masculine. I get countless messages, emails from the same people also. And it's kind of getting tiring and boring, actually. Oh, my divine masculine. Oh, my divine masculine. He didn't message. He didn't call. He's with a karmic. He's treating me like this. I have been saying for a long time now, let them. Let them. If they're sleeping around, let them. If they're taking drugs, let them. If they're doing too many karmic stuff, marriages, other people, let them. If they're doing nudity and pornography, let them. Focus on yourself. Focus on God. The twin flame journey is a journey of ascension, of liberation, of enlightenment, of nirvana, of moksha, of mukti, of all karma, of clearing your ancestral lineage and your whole line and freeing millions of people. It's not about divine masculine and him putting his willy out on the public platforms like mine was. Not about that. Not about that. Get the memo. It's not soulmates. It's not karmic relationships. It's not romance and love. This is blood, sweat, and tears. This is going to hell and coming back and going to heaven. This is ascension. This is liberation. This is enlightenment. This is divinity. This is healing. This is putting everything you have into doing your work. So you are the divine mother and father, and you've gained your higher consciousness. And you are working now to put everyone in their place and to heal that ancestral lineage. And you'll see as you do it, your divine masculine will do it too. My divine masculine currently is working through his mother issues, running away from that also, but dealing with it too, right? So basically, it's always mirrored. When the divine feminine has done the healing of the family, so first of all, you do the healing of the self, then you do the healing of the family. You don't focus on divine masculine. It's not about that. So you do the healing of the family. That's when basically you are either from a loving place guiding, or you are blasting them, like I've mentioned. If you haven't watched Start from the Beginning, you can watch it later. So you've done the healing, you've healed the family lineage, you've let go of the DM. You're focused on ascension, on God, on purpose, on power, on liberating your family. That's your mission. Then it becomes very urgent for the divine masculine. In the beginning, they're very lazy. They're also kind of anxious and scared because they see you as this diamond, but they just don't want to do anything about it. They're very lazy. They don't want to do the work. But as you're going forward, blistering at the sound of light, going forwards, no matter what they're doing, you're on the highway, you're still going forwards. You don't give a shit. You don't give a crap. You don't give a rat's ass what they're doing anymore. You don't care because it's not about them. That's when divine masculine wakes up. That's when divine masculine ramps it up. I've been interviewing quite a lot of twin flames in union yesterday and today. Today's one was very beautiful. Undoubtedly, the twin flame police will be inspecting their interviews and criticizing and bring them down and judging them, saying they're not twin flames, as it happens. But today's one talked about my and my twin's future, which is very beautiful, of creating retreats in warm countries and helping people. It's about helping people, okay? And yesterday's twin flame and divine feminine, she talked about this. Soon as she stopped thinking about the divine masculine and she focused only on her ascension, he woke up, okay? So that's when they ramp it up. The divine feminine unites with God consciousness and doesn't give a fuck if the divine masculine wakes up or not, if union happens or not. You don't care. You don't care. You don't care, okay? And then the DM comes and they have to change. As soon as you stop giving a shit about them, they have to change. And it's not a pretending, angry, aggressive, oh, I hate him, he's an asshole. No, it's where you actually say, live your life, be free, and I've got to focus on me, and I don't really, union's not everything. It's way more than that. It's way more than that. And you'll get to that stage if you do your inner work. But if you're a lazy divine feminine or a fake twin flame, you won't do your work and you won't get there. So stop lying to yourself and pretending. It takes a lot of work, depending on how much karma you've got. Some have more, some have less. I did a lot of work, okay? But then you get to a stage where you burn it all to the ground, all the programming, all the childhood, all the issues. Now, if you have within you thoughts of anger and aggression, of punishment, I'm going to punish divine masculine. Think about where it comes from. I had that, sometimes still do, and it comes from my father, who used to punish all of us, including my mother. So if you are basically wanting to be punisher mode, that is coming from childhood too, something you've got to work on. Do you want to punish yourself and others? Where's that coming from? Now, we should only want the best for others. Yes, DM triggers us, but it's just to bring out those things, right? So we have to work on that. Why are we wanting to punish someone who's already traumatized, already scared, already receiving karma from God? You may not see it, but you'll see them. You know, my DM's completely shriveled up from his ego, was very narcissistic, and now is completely been flattened by God. Imagine how that must have felt for them. It's a lot. So we don't want to punish, and if we're punishing, that's something we need to resolve, because as a divine mother, divine sister, divine wife, divine sister energy, sometimes you are strict and have boundaries, but often you are in a place of love. You can be cheeky and fun, but often in a place of love. This is your last life as a twin flame, if you are a twin flame. Purification of all toxicity has to happen within first. Family, karma, all that stuff. And it's messy. It's horrific. And the DM does it in a very horrific way. To return back to being that newborn baby, that pristine divine self version of you. All the gunge, have it pouring out of you. And the DM does it very physically. To let it all out, You must allow others to let it all out too. So the House of Cards is falling. The illusions, the delusions, the fakeness, the lies, the control, the manipulation, the putting you down, the, what was the word I used? Undermining you and your worth. You're no longer taking it now. You're no longer taking bullshit. Now, with that, it's not all love and rainbows and unicorns, now is it? Like how it's shown by all the other, well, not all the other, but many twin flame coaches out there promoting this unicorns and flowery hearts coming out the backside. It's not that, is it? Sometimes you have to be very strong and you have to blast people. Blasting people with your voice, with your words, with your action, and you blast the ego out of them. And the boundaries come through. And sometimes it's uncontrollable and you say, no, you will not behave that way. And this is not the way in which I or others should be treated. So often it is from a place of love and forgiveness, but sometimes you've got to stand up on the front line. So if you've done your inner work, if you've come to a place of acceptance and surrender, you are no longer thinking about divine masculine. You're no longer thinking about skipping down the streets, holding hands with flower hearts and all this and that and the other. It's about ascension. Ascension, 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 and only ascension is your role that you have come on earth for. Your last life, to escape from the wheel of karma, to prevent reincarnation without your will, and to help the rest of your family lineage and any others you can to get there too. So for some of you, it may be very difficult to swallow this message, but it's the truth. It's ascension, and then teaching that to the world. It's your purpose, it's your mission. It's not about divine masculine. Yes, they get the punch in the guts when you actually let go and just focus on ascension and God and not union. You don't care about that. You care about getting forwards with helping your family, with the world, doing the good stuff that you're here to do. Then they are very competitive, twin flames. Very competitive. Very jealous and competitive. They want to reach that stage and get to the same level. They want the glory. They want the admiration. They want all the good stuff that you got. They want the abundance. They want the power. They want to feel like gods. So they will do the work and they will come back and they may not be ready fully. And then it's your choice as well. Do you want to return back and be with them or with a soulmate, or do you want to just be celibate and focus on ascension? It's your choice. But obviously they are you, and helping them is helping you, and you bring them forwards as well, right? On the good path. It's your choice. I'm not saying you have to be with them, but I'm saying do not make them the focus of what you're here to do. It's not about them. You'll get to a point where you look at them and you think they're an ordinary, normal person with trauma and issues, and you might even think, why the hell was I even interested in the first place? But that's because of the energy that they show, which is your divinity and your light that they are showing back to you. But you'll see the truth of them, and then you'll start seeing the love and truth in all, and the trauma in all too. But first, it is about doing your inner work diligently, meticulously, with a lot of effort, to get to that place of balanced neutrality, where you're no longer obsessed on divine masculine, and you realize the purpose is not about divine masculine at all. It's about ascension. And then you've cleared that and healed that. You start clearing your childhood stuff, and they come as layers, onion layers, layers after layers. And you think that you're done, but then more come. And then once you get to that stage, I'm teaching from experience because I always teach from experience, then you get to the stage where you start working with your family. You start seeing the patterns, the distorted male lineage, the toxic female lineage, and you start working on that because you've removed it from yourself and now you identify and see it in others. You may try to be kind and soft, but people who are not twin flames are not having their ass whooped. They're not getting the ego deaths and the blasts, and they're not learning about God's surrender and acceptance. They're trying to use their ego to go forwards. So you might have to blast them with lights of energy coming from God right through you without any fear. In the past, when I used to have issues with my father, I would say things, but there'll still be a little bit of quivering or fear afterwards, in the silence, in the quietness. But this time, no. It's the voice of God coming through, and then peace and stillness throughout. And then the person realizes this is not someone to mess with. This is someone who has achieved. inner work and is here to stamp out ego and not accept that rubbish. And you don't accept it from your father, and you don't accept it from your divine masculine. Because the divine masculine mirrors that. All the male lineage stuff, okay? You no longer accept it. Divine masculine then is no longer able to bullshit around you. And you will call them out there and then. And have boundaries too. They will know, because you'll see through people's shit. Your third eye will be open. You'll see the psychology of it all. You'll see the ancestry of it all. And you'll understand that this shit is not for me. And I will not let it continue. That is your work. Your work is not obsessing about divine masculine crying. To those divine feminines, or so-called divine feminines, who message me every day moaning about the divine masculine and crying over them, stop. Getting boring. Do your inner work. Do your inner work. And you shall ascend. And you shall succeed. And you shall get everything you want. And it's way more than divine masculine. So the House of Cards, if you've done your inner work, is coming tumbling down. And with that, this transmission is complete. Take care.